Hello and welcome to Hill and Ponton Social Security Disability Blog. I'm Natalia, Jofre, the director for our Social Security section.
And I'm Shelly Mark. I'm the senior Social Security attorney.
So in our last few blogs, we've talked about what happens at your hearing, getting your decision, when it's a fully favorable decision, when it's a partially favorable decision. And now, unfortunately, we're going to talk about what happens if you get an unfavorable decision, which basically means you lost.
Basically means that your case has been denied by the judge.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be entitled to any benefits. No past due benefits and no future benefits.
So you have several options. I mean, first of all, I think that we should talk a little bit about, we have seen many cases where the person is genuinely disabled, did everything right, should have been approved, is truly and genuinely disabled, had the medical evidence to prove it. You know, we've had cases where we get this decision and we're just like, how did this happen?
Right.
And so it's not, unfortunately, I mean, some judges do have higher and lower approval ratings than others, right?
Right.
So sometimes that's a factor.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, certain jurisdictions have judges that are more favorable, less favorable. So location plays a part. You know, there's so many different reasons, but just like Natalia said, I mean, the reality is we have very good cases. We have a strict criteria with our intake, and we get unfavorable decisions. And so we're in the situation where we have to counsel the client on what do we feel like we're going to do next. In most cases with our clients, there is always a next step because we do feel like the person is really disabled and something just happened. I mean, I guess the judge just disagreed with us, or maybe the judge didn't feel like there was enough evidence to prove the claim, or maybe the judge felt like there was some work out there that the person could do.
Right, because sometimes, you know, you have the vocational expert in the hearing, and so maybe sometimes you get a vocational expert, which obviously you didn't hire, they're hired by the judge,
Right.
That comes out with this off-the-wall job that they feel the person can do, or the medical expert, you know, talks about some evidence. And sometimes we've seen judges hyper-focus on a negative piece of evidence,
Right.
and almost disregard everything else that was supportive of a finding of disability. Because we pride ourselves on really
strong cases.
We really are thorough in our evaluation of cases, and we don't want to represent people that aren't legitimately disabled.
Right.
So when we go to hearing, you know, it's because we really do feel that they should be
Right.
found disabled.
One thing that I would say, too, with these unfavorable decisions is that clients get really upset when they read them, understandably so. This is their life. And they find, what they always tell me is, this isn't fair. The judge didn't talk about the appointments that I had with my orthopedic, or they didn't talk about everything that I said about how difficult it is for me to walk. And I just always tell my clients, you have to try to remember, if you can, that this is like an outcome-based opinion. What I mean by that is the judge has made a decision whether he's going to deny or grant the claim, and then, like you were talking about in our last video, it then goes to the decision writers. So this decision writer has to go through the file and put into the decision the evidence that supports the judge's finding. So it does tend to be a very one-sided decision.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that those things weren't in the file. It doesn't mean that the judge didn't take them into consideration. It's just in a lot of cases they may not be very accurately reflected.
Yeah, and sometimes we do get unfavorable decisions when, for example, the person was authentically disabled, but, for example, they were unable to have ongoing medical treatment because they couldn't afford it. Or they were younger and now they're a little bit older, but for the period of time that they were claiming disability, the judge still felt that they should be able to do some type of work because they were considered a younger individual. So sometimes when circumstances change, they can then file a new claim, which is one of the options, and basically have a much better chance of being approved in a new case. But we'll save that for our next blog. So the next blog, we're going to talk about what can you do, what appeals can you file, what happens at those levels, or is filing a new claim perhaps a better option for you. So we'll talk about that next time.
Okay.
In the meantime, if you have questions, feel free to visit our website or call our office. And we thank you for joining us.
Thank you.